Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Forget Fire and Fury. The definitive book on the Trump White House is coming to us from New York Times bestselling author Ron Kessler, who's known both now President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump for 2 decades, and got exclusive access to President Trump for his book, Changing the Rules of the Game, the Trump White House. And Ronald Kessler joins us now. Thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Love to be with you.
So it's just the changing the rules of the game seems like a pretty good thematic for this presidency, and your timing couldn't have been better with this book, given his approach to China, given some of the other foreign policy decisions he's made with respect to, for example, Syria, even subsequent to this chemical attack over the weekend. So this is something that you saw on the horizon when Trump was elected, based on your relationship with the two of them for the last 20 years?
Actually, in January 2016, I predicted in a Daily Mail article that he would be elected as president. That was before he was even nominated. So I think I really understand this guy more than any other journalist, and can explain some of his quirks and where he's headed. And the answer is he's going to be seen as one of the greatest presidents, just like Reagan, who was also reviled by the media, and yet he got rid of the Soviet Union. He boosted the economy tremendously. Same with Trump. I interviewed Norma Forder, who was his top aide for 26 years. She knew him better than anybody on both the business and social side. There were only 7 other employees when she started working for him. And she said there are 2 Donald Trumps. One is the one you see on TV who makes these outrageous comments to get attention for his brand and now for his presidency. And then there's the real Donald that insiders know, who's just the opposite. He's thoughtful, he listens, he makes careful decisions. He didn't build this empire worth billions of dollars by being a fool or a bigot or an idiot. And so on the one hand, you see the stock market booming, you see the unemployment rate at an unprecedented low level, the same with the black unemployment rate. In foreign affairs, you see ISIS almost demolished, Saudi Arabia agreeing to go after radical Islamic ideology, Trump about to meet with the North Korean leader, Trump sending missiles into Syria to make it clear that we will not be messed with.
Well,
And
but speaking
all
of
this,
Syria, Senator Lindsey Graham over the weekend said that this is going to be a defining moment in his presidency, how he handles the Syrian chemical attack. Do you believe that?
Well, I think it's one of many. You know, he's certainly not going to back down. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. And apparently Israel has already launched one attack on Syria. But what he does is he uses the carrot and the stick, and you see that with Putin. You see that with the Chinese leader, threatening on the one hand, on the other hand, inviting him to Mar-a-Lago, and China, for the first time, voted in the UN for sanctions against North Korea. So on every page in this book, you have new information. For example, he will hand out $100 bills to janitors or other people who move furniture, but he doesn't want people to know that. He wants to have this tough guy image. He puts a mask over his face. When I interviewed him, which was the only interview he says he has given or will give for a book as president, I asked him about that little item. Why don't you let people know about the softer side of Trump? And he sort of, became obstreperous about it. How did you know that? Where did you get that? He just can't stand to let that out. Another thing is that Melania is a powerful force. Again, he doesn't want that out. She's a powerful aide who sits in on meetings, will express the viewpoint. She'll sort of summarize what others have said and then express her own strategy. I quote Reince Priebus as saying that her judgment is just impeccable. She's politically savvy. She will also give articles, including negative ones, to Trump that she thinks he should read.
What about the savvy and the power at present of Ivanka and Jared?
Well, just the opposite. I call them the Teflon aides because they were responsible for the most disastrous and foolish decisions of the Trump presidency, namely firing Jim Comey as FBI director, leading to the appointment of Mueller as special counsel, and hiring Scaramucci. And Trump understands that there are problems. He's actually hinted to them that maybe they should go back to New York, but they're the Teflon aides, they're the family members. He is not going to fire them. I also reveal that Kellyanne Conway is the number one leaker. When I was interviewing her at the White House and it was recorded, she apparently forgot that she was on the record, and she started lashing into these other colleagues. She had this nasty thing to say about Reince Priebus that was obviously untrue. I didn't include it in the book because I thought that would be unfair. Also, Jared and Ivanka saying that they're leakers. And aides have told me that they've seen text messages that she has sent to reporters in which she leaks material. Trump was not aware of this. He is now. We'll see what happens.
And Kellyanne disputed that recently when she was queried about it, right?
Actually, she didn't. She didn't deny it. She just said, "I have a good relationship with Jared and Ivanka," and sort of went off into other subjects, but did not actually deny it.
Where are Jared and Ivanka lately? I haven't seen them, or are they still in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, yeah, they're still in the White House working. And every now and then they contribute something useful. For example, Jared suggested going to Saudi Arabia first on the Middle East trip, which sent a good message to Arab countries. But if you look at what they have done, in the case of Scaramucci, he sweet-talked them into thinking that he could improve their image. They're very image-conscious, and that's why they got Trump to hire him. Just incredible. He lasted 10 days.
Let me get your handle on this characterization by Holman Jenkins in a piece in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend. I thought this was sort of interesting, talking about Trump and his approach with President Xi in China, but it's bigger than that. Trump is not a bridge burner, writes Jenkins. He's always ready to be best friends tomorrow with whomever he's at war with today. His relationship with the quote-unquote failing New York Times is the cognoscenti case in point. No news organization has been so relentlessly denounced and yet so relentlessly courted by Mr. Trump. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's very accurate. In the book, I say that Trump will call certain reporters of the New York Times, like Maggie Haberman, and certain reporters of the Washington Post, and give them interviews, and sometimes have them attribute the interview to a source in the White House. But then at the same time, he denounces those papers that gets him attention, that cultivates his base. So he's always, everything is two-edged sword with him.
So,
go ahead.
So consistent with that, if that's true, then what's his play with Jeff Bezos and Amazon?
Part of that is the same shtick to simply get attention. He wants to be the center of attention every single day in the media and in conversation, and that enhances his power so that countries fear him, or they want to gravitate to him. The same with CEOs; they want to have his support. It's simply a matter of being a strong leader by creating controversy every day.
All right, he is Ronald Kessler, New York Times bestselling author. The book, Changing the Rules of the Game, which include the Trump White House Changing the Rules of the Game is a full title. It includes an exclusive interview with President Trump, who Mr. Kessler has known, both he and First Lady Melania, for 2 decades. So insights into their personalities and those personalities informing their policy decisions. Ronald Kessler, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck with the book.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.